The day I graduated should have been the happiest day of my life. I still remember standing outside the university with my diploma in my hands, smiling so hard my cheeks hurt. My parents hugged me. My younger sister Emma even brought me flowers. For one perfect afternoon, I believed all the sacrifices had finally been worth it. Growing up, my parents owned a small family furniture business. It wasn't glamorous, but it was our pride. My grandfather had started it with nothing but a few handmade chairs and a dream. Ever since I was little, Dad would say, "One day this business will belong to the child who protects it." I believed that child was me. While my friends spent summers at the beach, I worked in the warehouse. I learned bookkeeping, customer service, inventory management, and even how to negotiate with suppliers. Every school vacation belonged to the business. My sister was different. She hated early mornings, avoided the office whenever she could, and openly admitted she wanted a carefree life. Everyone laughed and called her the creative one. I never complained. I thought hard work would always speak louder than excuses. After graduation, my parents invited the whole family to celebrate at our favorite restaurant. Dad raised a glass and smiled proudly. "We have another announcement tonight." Everyone clapped. I thought he was about to officially welcome me into the company. Instead, Dad stood up and smiled at Emma. "I'm proud to announce that Emma will become the new managing director of our family business." The room exploded with applause. Mine stayed silent. I honestly thought it was some kind of joke. Then Mom looked directly at me. "You've always been independent," she said softly. "You'll figure things out. Emma needs this more." Those words shattered something inside me. Needed it? I had spent years earning it. Nobody even asked how I felt. Nobody noticed I had stopped smiling. I quietly congratulated my sister, forced one last smile, and walked outside before anyone could see the tears filling my eyes. But what I didn't know that night was that losing the family business would become the greatest gift life ever gave me. The next morning, I returned to the office anyway. Part of me hoped everything had been misunderstood. Instead, I found my name already removed from my desk. Emma was sitting in Dad's old office. She smiled awkwardly. I guess things changed faster than expected. Changed? Everything had disappeared overnight. My office access was canceled. My company email was deleted. Even employees I'd trained for years suddenly avoided eye contact. Mom later explained their decision. "You've always been strong," she said. "Emma has never really found her place. We thought giving her responsibility would help her grow." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. So my years of loyalty had become the reason I deserved less? That afternoon, I packed the few personal items left in my drawer. A family photo, a notebook, a coffee mug that said "Future CEO." The irony almost made me laugh. For weeks, I questioned everything. Was I never enough? Did my parents ever actually see me? Then something unexpected happened. One of our biggest suppliers called me privately. "We've always trusted working with you," he said. "If you ever start something of your own, give us a call." Then another customer reached out. Then another. Apparently, people weren't loyal to the company. They were loyal to me. That realization changed everything. Instead of crying every night, I started planning. I rented a tiny office. It had old furniture, peeling paint, and a leaking ceiling whenever it rained. But it was mine. Every dollar I had saved went into starting my own custom furniture company. Some nights I worked until sunrise. Some mornings I questioned whether I was making the biggest mistake of my life. But every order reminded me why I had never given up. Meanwhile, news from my parents' company wasn't good. Emma treated experienced employees like they knew nothing. She ignored supplier relationships. She approved expensive projects without understanding the numbers. Several longtime workers quietly resigned. Customers slowly followed. Still, whenever Mom called, she insisted everything was under control. Until everything changed. One afternoon, my phone rang. It was Dad. His voice sounded older than I remembered. I agreed to meet them at the same restaurant where they had celebrated giving everything to Emma. Only this time, their smiles were gone. Dad looked exhausted. Mom could barely meet my eyes. Emma sat quietly, staring at the table. Finally, Dad spoke. "The business is struggling." I stayed silent. "We've lost several major clients." Still silent. Mom finally whispered the words I never expected to hear. "We made a mistake." For years, I had imagined hearing that apology. I thought it would heal everything. Instead, It only reminded me how deeply I'd been hurt. Dad looked at me with hope. Would you come back and help save the company? The younger version of me would have said yes without hesitation. But I wasn't that girl anymore. I smiled gently. I already have a company to protect. The silence that followed felt different, not cold, just honest. I wasn't rejecting them out of anger. I was protecting the life I had rebuilt. Months later, my company continued growing. Several former family business employees joined my team. Customers returned because they trusted honesty more than family names. Eventually, my parents sold most of their business to pay off debts. Emma found a different career that actually suited her talents. Ironically, she later admitted she never wanted the responsibility in the first place. She had only accepted it because our parents pushed her into it. For the first time in years, we had an honest conversation. Neither of us had been the real enemy. Favoritism had hurt both of us. My parents had confused love with protection, and in trying to help one daughter, they nearly lost the other. Today, I don't carry revenge in my heart. Success became my answer. Peace became my victory. Looking back, I realized something important. Sometimes the greatest betrayal doesn't destroy your future. It pushes you toward the future you were always meant to build. If my parents had handed me the family business that night, I might never have discovered what I could build on my own. So whenever people ask if I regret losing everything after graduation, I simply smile. Because the day they chose my sister was the day I finally chose myself. And that decision changed my life forever.